See, yo, family, what's going on? It's your boy FlintnFam this set. Yep, that's correct. Any others come to feed, so don't forget, family. Today, I'm going to introduce you guys to my first love.
FlintnFam.
So when did it all start? For me, I'll say it all started when I was really young, when my brother would bathe me. And when he would bathe me, he would sing a song to me. And when he got tired of that, he would beatbox in the same rhythm that the song was in. And I think that was my first ever introduction to drumming. So growing up, it was all about drumming. I could remember when I would sit on Saturday mornings and I would pull all the boxes from inside the house and I would set up my own little drum set and I would just start beating to the songs that were playing on the radio. And the little flaps at the end of the boxes were my crashes. I would turn over some boxes from my snare and my toms. And sometimes I might even beat on some of the chair cushions because they were removable. And that's how I would practice. And I would just practice keeping rhythm. I had no knowledge of different types of beats or anything like that. So it was just me expressing myself through what I loved. I didn't know it then, but I know that I enjoyed doing it. Every Saturday morning, radio playing, and I'm on the cushions beating up on some boxes. I didn't have the privilege of beating up my mom's pot, so yeah, boxes was it. So growing up, it was all about drumming for me. My family was all into drumming and all into rhythm. All of my cousins, mainly the males though, we would just beat on our chests like this all the time. And we would create music like that. You might have someone beating on the table or something. In my mom's veranda on the railing, there was a big enough piece of wood that we would beat on as well. And we would do some fancy things with the wood. And that created rhythm for us and we would just enjoy doing that kind of stuff together. So the culture where I'm from in Barbados is pretty much all about rhythm. The music, soca music, calypso music, tuck. Tuck is probably the first beat that you might learn to play. Yeah, you might hear other types of music before, but in the culture, tuck is like the main, it's like the definition of rhythm. That's what it is. So all in school, I used to be beating on the desk tuck. You will have the tuck band coming around, Independence time, and you'll see the guys walking around with those big drums on their chest with a big stick with a woolly type finish, kind of like what you would use to beat on the bass drum of drum kit, and they'll be marching. And then you have the guys with the snare drum and the sticks, and for me that was just excitement. That was it for me. Tough. So as I got older, I took drumming lessons, and there weren't that much drumming lessons, to be honest, but I got to learn different types of beats like reggae, calypso, ballads, swing, and I can remember this one time that we were practicing for like a talent show thing, and it was me versus my drumming teacher. So shout out to you, Chris Nan. We had like a little duo going on, and man, he really challenged me that time. I can still remember some of the things that he made me do in that challenge, and it was quite fun to see or to experience playing alongside my teacher, my first drumming teacher, and quite frank, that was my last drumming teacher as well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, as a young drummer coming up, I would usually play in the church, but I was never really challenged that much in terms of skill and ability, because it was a lot of repetition of the same types of songs, so you play the same types of beats, and after a while it was kind of monotonous. But what I enjoyed the most was just doing solo stuff by myself, like being on the drums and playing what I feel at that point in time, at that moment. I would have to say my favorite drum is the snare drum. It's probably the most diverse drum out there. There are different sounds that you can make with it. There are different ways to hitting it to get different sounds out of it. So I'll have to say snare drum. Plus, putting the icing on the cake is the drum that defines the top beat. So it's that. Anytime I do a drumming session, that's the beat I would do. I would always go to some top beat, because is what I was brought up in, is my vibe, is my rhythm, and that's what I love, the snare drum. Now, with that said, I'm gonna basically build a drum set for you. So the first drum we're gonna add is the snare, most diverse drum in the set, and all by itself you could create rhythm and you could have a good time with just the snare drum. Now when you add the bass drum to that, that's kind of the soul of the drum set. That's the drum that gives the beats body. So combining these two together, you can do some pretty cool stuff. So next up, we're gonna add the toms. Tom 1, Tom 2, Tom 3, or the floor tom, if you would. I mean, some drum kits usually have like 5 toms, or you can have some with 6 toms. All different and unique sounds each one would make, but generally for a basic kit, you will have 2 toms, first tom, second tom, and a floor tom. So you can add a lot of diversity having a snare, the bass drum or the kick drum, and tom 1, tom 2, and tom 3. So next we're going to add the hi-hat. The hi-hat is a pretty cool part of the drum set. It's made of 2 cymbals, one on top of the other, facing each other. Usually you see a version of it in the marching bands where they would cling cymbals together like that. That's kind of what it is, but in a more controlled setting. And the hi-hat is a pretty cool part of the drum set. The sounds it makes, it can even define beats. Everyone's familiar with the reggae beat. If you're not familiar with reggae, you're probably familiar with Bob Marley, so you can equate reggae to Bob Marley. The hi-hat definitely gives you a different feel, especially when you're playing reggae beats.
Let's get together and feel alright. Singing it again. Talk about the heart. I give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright.
Next up, we're just gonna add the cymbals, or as some like to call them, the crashes. Now, again, there are many types of crashes. Different sizes, different sounds. You can go from really high to really low pitched sounds. What else? Like, there's a full spectrum of cymbals that you can add to your drum kit. But for the basic drum kit, you usually have a simple crash and what we would call a crash ride. One where you can use the bell and create like swing beats and stuff like that, or jazz beats, if you will. So that's the complete drum set right there. I even added a smaller tom for you guys, so we add that little guy in. We also have a smaller crash in there as well. So with that kit built, sit back, relax, and enjoy some of the solo beats that I'll put down for you guys. So yeah guys, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like. That will allow other people to see this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this stuff. I also play other instruments, so if you're interested in that, you can let me know. Share the fun with your friends. It's been your boy Flint. I will see you later, family. Peace.